Familiar be a cat.
Sprite.
Welcome, everyone, to Dire Bear Venturing Company. It's Monday night. That means it's time for some escort business. Anyways, as always, we want to thank D&D Beyond for allowing us to use their wonderful product. They are fantastic. You should check them out. DBeyond.com, and that's dndbeyond.com. You can create your own characters, store your campaign notes, create campaigns. And they actually are working on the beta for their encounter builder. So you can throw in your characters that you have or the levels that they are. You can throw on monsters to determine how deadly or easy it's going to be. So that way you can ramp it up to be murderous intent. So dndbeyond.com, you can get an account for free. And it has access to the SRD, the open source material that is free for everyone. And then if you would like to, and we encourage you to, purchase an additional, I'm going to just slightly adjust my camera so that I'm actually in focus again. So that way we can encourage you to pick up their product because it's fantastic. Also like to thank Lucky Dice Cafe. If you were in the Huntsville area and you're looking for something fun to do on a Friday night or a Thursday night, although the Thursday night is pretty packed out, but if you're looking for good or anything fun to do on a Friday night, what better way to spend the evening than with dinner and an adventure? I'll be there this Friday running 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. It's $20 at the door, but that does buy your meal as well as a hell of a good time with me. Phrasing. Anyway, so we also would like to thank our very own amazing Derek Weems for the music that you heard there at the introduction. His information is in the card down below, so please feel free to check him out. He is pretty damned amazing, and that was fantastic work that he did. So a huge thanks to him. And if you are around, if our mod will give us a bang Discord so that we can get that out there, join our Discord, hang out with us, talk like I can't right now. Chill out, ask questions, and we are happy to answer them if we can. All right. Not a whole lot. Am I missing anyone? No? Am I here? Okay. Welcome to everyone, like I said, to the Escorts. We have got a really busy week. At least I do. Something special down the pipeline, as well as our Patreon has been updated with our newest Meet the Escorts, and the first one is Zastari. We have more to come as we get them. We'll also be throwing in some lore all about the world itself, so feel free to drop in and join our Patreon. Your dollar supports us. It keeps us paying for Zoom and Incarnate and all sorts of wonderful things that we use in the background. So thank you, everyone, for your support and your continued support, and we appreciate it. If you don't want to join our Patreon, please feel free to subscribe. If you have a Twitch Prime account, you can subscribe for free. And if you would like to drop bits on us, we would appreciate it. And we also have a coffee. Now that I'm done begging for money, my camera seems off today, so apologize. I'm going to just mess with this a little bit. Feels like it's not right. Is that better? If I slouch? All right. Everybody's so subdued today. As we get into last week, we'll do a real quick recap. They brought themselves to Jopus Landing after meeting a very interesting figure out in the middle of the water with an island that wasn't really expected to be there, a storm giant by the name of Farron, who treated them kindly and allowed them on their way with some help from his own controlling or their own control weather functionality. They landed at Jopus Landing and have spread out looking for things here and there. Zastari collected her blade, as she had requested to be done, with having Setiel in tow. They found Sarnes, as well as some arcane runes that were spread around the workshop area, which Setiel learned were warding runes that will be taking things without wanting to, or without paying for them, anyways. So no grab and goes. The rest of the party, well, two of them made their way to the bar, and we'll come back to those in a moment here, as Mello and Tonga have become buddies in their endeavor to find food and drink. And their last two party members, Ezra and Zora, went shopping and found a few things that they wanted to keep themselves entertained with. And that is where we'll pick up tonight's episode. For the most part, you guys are going to be able to find a room. I know that Satiel is talking about having everybody put up at or try to have them put up at the library. The large cathedral-like building that sits up on a small hill overlooking the rest of the town, looking almost palatial to a degree. The Center for Knowledge in this area, collections of books stacked in high shelves. However, Tonga, Mello.
Yes.
Drink has been applied and food has been downed. And you're not sure which one was the more ample of the two, but from the way your fingers tingle at the moment, we're definitely thinking it was the drink. First thing I need from both of you are Constitution saving throws, please.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
11.
Okay.
22.
22. Mellow. This isn't anything new for you. These few drinks won't topple a titan like you. However, you look over at Tonga, who is giving the cup that they just finished a very stern looking into. Not quite a how did you betray me like this, more of a why is all the rum gone sort of thing.
All right.
Do you order another round of drinks?
Of course.
Yeah.
My friend is thirsty. He's a fish.
Constitution saving throws. That's almost offensive. Constitution saving throws.
Ah, there it is.
7? What the fuck?
Okay, maybe not. 12.
Not using that dice anymore.
Tonga, your fingers and toes tingle. Your ears are warm. Your face is beginning to become flush, which is impressive for a sea elf. Mello, you look over at Tonga, who is clearly half-lidded eyes, looking around the room with a big smile on his face. Quite clearly becoming inebriated. However, you yourself are starting to feel the effects of the alcohol as you order another round.
Con save.
Yep.
One's better, but 14.
9.
Oh. Now you're both feeling the effects. Your stomach is on fire, but not a hot, burning, oh God, this hurts. More of a warmth that fits in there. It sits in your gut as you look at each other and start to profess your admiration for one another through drunken slurs. I just think you're a really good guy, and that's just what I think. You order yet another.
Yes.
Constitution saving throws.
Ooh, 20.
How'd they die? Alcohol poisoning.
Total of 20?
Yes, not a natural 20.
14.
Okay. 14. This one doesn't seem to have the effect that the last few did. However, you are still feeling quite tipsy. You look over at Mello, who goes to put his hand on his chin and his elbow on the table and ends up doing like that motion. Eventually decides to end up like holding his head with one hand and then putting it into the other one. And so now he's sitting at the table going, I think I need something more to eat. I asked
Congo
you two to
tries to pat him on the back, maybe a little harder than he should.
get it out.
Pat, pat, pat. You're okay, buddy.
Roll to burp.
Is that another
Ugh.
Constitution saving throw?
Ooh.
It came up a little bit. Okay, with the two of you now being quite sauced, you order one more round. I would like one more round of Constitution saving throws.
All right. That is a nat 20.
Okay, what's the total?
24.
Okay.
Critical failure.
Critical failure.
Oh, 2 crits. Fantastic.
I'm so proud of both of you.
For a total of 5.
Oh, that hurts.
It is at this time that the greatest idea that you've ever had pops into your head. I had asked you both to make a table.
Mm-hmm.
Between the two of you, come up with a table, and you have done so. Is that table present? And can you get it present to me?
Yes.
Okay.
You already got that pulled up?
Yeah.
All right.
Be up in a second. Do you want me to just send it right to you on Discord?
Yeah, that would be great if you could, please.
Cool.
Welcome back.
Discord decided, yo, I know you're in the middle of something, but it's update time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Listen here, fool.
yeah,
Update your shit.
more or less.
And while we wait for this, what are the rest of you doing?
I now that we're done getting the sword, am gonna go see if I can find someone who will buy my crossbow because I don't ever use it.
Sure. The general store will probably take it off your hands for half the value you find in the player's handbook.
Okie dokie.
Okay. If either of you have the list, go ahead.
I have it. I sent it to you on Discord.
Yeah, go ahead and close it out, though. I don't want either one of you looking at it.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I want both of you to roll a d12 for me.
Okay.
7.
3. Oh no.
It starts off simple enough. It's an earworm. It gets stuck in your head. A bit of music. You're not really quite sure where it comes from or how it works. But as soon as you start mentioning a few words that kind of string together, the both of you continue to sing, playing off of one another in a game of musical chairs, but more with lyrics, lyrical chairs, if you will. What is created is some horrendous concoction that people are actually starting to put their hands against their ears as they scream in pain and, oh my God, can you get these two drunken bastards to stop? As you continue to make up a horrendous song. Give me an idea, each of you coming up with just a few words of what the song is about.
Has to be on the sea. We were just there. It's on our minds. Long days and nights on the sea.
Honestly, the first thing that came to my mind was something about the ocean. So
Getting bored on a raft. Finding fried food on a raft.
there's a beautiful angel on board the raft.
Okay. There's an angel on the raft. You're bored on the raft. None of the words rhyme to
Alright.
anybody but you. You
Ah,
two, it's the greatest thing that you've ever come up with. This thing should go worldwide and will be sung by all of the famous bards.
It's in
And
primordial.
you don't even know. It's a rambling mess of a song that seems to go all over the place. However, eventually they decide to finally get you to calm down enough to where you're no longer singing. It is at this point that we get to the next section. Both of you roll a d12.
Uh-oh.
D12. Okay. Oh, I put mine away.
It's okay.
5.
Whoops. Where'd she go? There we go. 2.
You decide that the bar is no longer a place for you to hang out, so you start asking questions about what's the best route to take. What can you do that's fun? They tell you that one of the things that some of the locals is called, for lack of a better term for it, cock chasing. Now, what they do is they have a small hedge maze. They
Sorry,
release
bad.
several roosters into the hedge maze. You are given a tag, and your job is to chase the chicken, aka the cock, through the hedge maze, and your job is to capture your chicken. The color band on the chicken's leg matches the color band that you've been given. On your way to this pinnacle of lordly entertainment venues, the inebriation sets in, starting with Tonga.
Uh-huh.
And you start to reveal your backstory, your motivation, your history. You tell Mello in your drunken state more than you tell anyone. Is there anything in particular, one thing in particular that you think Tonga would tell Mello that in this inebriated state that he may not tell anyone else?
So you see, there's back at home, there's this like expectation for me to have a baby. Not me, but like baby. And get a wife. But I have a secret. I'm gay. I don't like women. I can't get a wife. There's nothing about him I really like. Frustrating, I know, right?
So, hang on.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Tritons don't lay eggs, right?
We all knew he was going to go there. It was that or seahorses.
Do I
I'm glad I wasn't drinking
I should
anything.
do I look like I should be laying eggs?
Well, no, you don't.
I don't think we
Oh
lay
shit,
eggs.
should I?
Do you lay eggs?
No.
Cool. I don't think I do either.
In the moment of brotherly camaraderie and sharing with one another, Mello, you as well feel that the only thing to do with your newfound brother is to reciprocate, telling him something, a secret that only you hold. And in this drunken state of trust, you feel that you can tell Tonga.
Okay, so like
What's up, buddy?
He's just walking an arm over each other's shoulders. Hey, listen.
I gotta start this out with like, you gotta know I don't have daddy issues or nothing, right?
Okay, yeah.
My dad, though,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
he's he wants me to understand this mess of stuff he's got going on. To like, he's kind of Sitel and like researching magic.
Oh, your dad's not sad. Oh, okay.
No,
I was about to shit a
God,
brick or
no.
something.
He's like I mean, okay, both of my parents are, but like,
I'm your father.
It's like a requirement for me to like inherit anything is to have a mild figure outy with some of this crap back home. And I got nothing.
Figure outy.
Yeah, figure outy.
I'm sure. Hey, he like cups his face. He's like, you're gonna get something. I promise. Okay, tap tap tap. Maybe a little harder than you should.
Pat pat pat.
Why do I get the feeling like one of the things that Tong is going to take out of this is Satiel is Mello's dad?
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing that he remembers.
Why do I get the feeling this is going to be a recurring theme now?
I was a little intoxicated, but I understand. You should take it easy on Mello. I mean, you're his dad after all. Just relax and go easy on him. He's doing his best, okay?
Huh?
You arrive at the location that you've been informed is the place for this most lordly of events. It's a warehouse, and as you open the door, you can see that there is a man standing at the front who is requesting payment. He tells you, taking a good look at both of you, he tells you it's 2 gold pieces, one for each of you.
Okay.
You were granted access into the room. It's more like a courtyard when you get in. That the building itself has a sloped roof, but it's open in the center, and you can see a garden in there, a hedge maze. As you look, you can see that there are just people milling about all around the corner, and you can see that they're waiting for. Hang on just 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Hang on just 1 minute.
Love you, Daddy.
Love you. All right, go on. What do they say when the 4-year-old hands you the phone, you answer? Well, when the 4-year-old comes in demanding a hug and a kiss, you give it to him. All right.
Damn right.
So you can see that there are people milling about the edges of the building. They are preparing. You can see them in small groups, and they're like talking to one another and trying to pick out who's going to go first. they all look quite intent in this situation. They all look very studious. They're all talking about the maze and stuff like that. The two of you, like the drunken idiots you are just looking at the color of the band that you've been handed, trying to determine what shade of green it is. Not necessarily that it isn't green, just which shade of green that it is. And then you start to look around to see if anybody else has green that might be a similar shade, because you don't want to grab the wrong chicken.
Trade back and forth a couple times.
Yeah. Wait. This is a different band. No, it's not. It's the same one. Wait. I've got my own band. Here, you can have this one back. And then you're both looking at them. Are these the same band?
Just catch a chicken and switch bands on it.
So eventually, well, no. Yours are like big, tied off bands.
I didn't say it was a smart idea.
That is fair. You are drunk. So you hear a whistle being blown, and everybody kind of comes to the front. The cage is moved to a small opening. It is then opened, and you watch as chickens flood out in all directions into the maze itself. They move the cage. They roll the cage out of the way, and then you hear somebody hold up a clapboard, and it's got like numbers on it, and he starts to flip it over, and then flip it over, and you can see it's counting down. And when he finally gets down to 0, he waves it, and it makes a clack, 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 clack noise. And you are all allowed to run into the maze. As you are in the maze, you're going to be facing up against others who are going to try to stop you and slow you down. Nobody's carrying weapons. They want this to at least have you come out alive on the other side.
Yeah.
Not everybody is allowed to just run pell-mell into the maze. They actually start releasing you in groups of 2 by the color of your band, and you hear them calling out. So the first band up is a blue band, and you watch as a half-orc and a halfling go into the maze. The countdown is done again, and they say it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They release the next one in, and then the next one, and then so red, and then a white, then a black. Finally, you two are kind of pushed to the front of the maze. As you look up, the guy is looking at both of you and gives a hearty chuckle before saying, "All right, good luck," and shoving you into the maze. The entrance of the maze, you can go left or right. Tell me which way you're going to go.
Left.
Immediately takes off for the left without any word of warning. You travel 5 feet, you travel 10 feet, and the maze turns in only one direction you can go, so you turn right. You continue on. Now you're at a pathway. You can go left, or you can go right, or you can continue straight ahead.
Always go left.
Turns left again. There's a chicken in front of you. I want both of you to give me perception checks.
Okay.
At disadvantage.
Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh.
Because why?
Gee, I wonder.
Because we're fucking trashed.
All right. 18
Uh.
and... 8.
Okay.
18 and 9.
Seriously, 18 and 8 and 18 and 9.
All right.
The band on this chicken is yellow. It is not your chicken. Are you going
Eating the
No.
chicken.
You're going to pick it up and eat the chicken?
Eat the chicken.
Okay, give me an attack roll. Bare hands
And-
so you can grab the chicken.
Mm.
Maybe some Legend of Zelda.
You do have disadvantage because you are drunk.
Oh, good. All right. Seven.
The chicken eludes your grasp.
Really?
darts under the low point in the bushes and seems to be gone. The path that you took, which led left, turns around a corner and comes back the opposite direction, and you can see now that you are at another junction. You can head north, you can head south, continuing in a straight path, or you can to your right.
Straight on.
Straight ahead it is.
Yeah.
It turns once to your right, turns back again to your left after a few feet, turns once more to your left, and ends. There is a chicken here. Perception check.
A 7 and a 14. We're so fucking good at this.
4.
Oh,
This is also not your chicken. But you were also at a dead end. The last junction you could have turned right. Well, now would it be you can turn left on that junction?
Yes, but I am
Yeah.
shoving the chicken as best I can with trying to catch it into the bush.
Oh. Well, you trying to grab it makes it run. These aren't like docile, hey, I'm just going to come up to you. They're kind of...
Oh, yeah, I figured.
They're chickens. Sorry. You
All
go
right.
back to the last spot you could. You turn left. It opens up into a large circular area. I say large. It opens up into a circular area with a round shrubbery. Here you can see 2 chickens. Perception checks, both of you, please. Disadvantage still.
9 and 11.
Okay.
6.
You're doing wonderful. One of these chickens appears to have a green band on it. The other one clearly has a black band on.
I'm fucking going for it.
Okay. Roll attack.
Crit fail.
You dive for the chicken. As you do so, you come up short, and your face goes across this kind of like loosely packed earth, and so you end up spitting out a few chunks of dirt. Your tongue tastes, loamy.
The first drunk bruise.
Yeah, your chin took a little bit of a scratching up. There is no other way out of this.
Get the chicken!
Get the chicken! There's no other way out of this round area. You have to go back the way you were.
The chicken wasn't our chicken?
You didn't grab it. You don't know. You continue. Are you gonna try, Steve?
I'll try. Try
Go ahead
and
and give me an attack.
hit it off at the pass.
Disadvantage.
Oh, I'm not going to roll again. That's a 3.
What's this chicken's armor class?
It's higher than that. It's all dexterity-based chicken. Chickens are dexterity-based creatures.
Beefy chicken.
Not
It's
to
a
mention-
Sunday roaster.
It's oh my god.
But it's Monday, so it's going to be alive for a while.
Okay. So let's see. I'm just looking to see if
I'm back.
no, that's pretty decent AC. Hey Tim, how are you, sir? They're trying to catch a chicken in a maze while they're drunk. So this chicken
Sounds like
darts
Three
under the
Stooges.
bush. Darts under the bush to the north. You exit this area, you go back to the nearest junction that you had from there, which would allow you to go either straight across now, or you can go left. If you turn right, you're going to go back to the entrance. So left, straight across.
Left. When in doubt.
All right.
All right. Turning left in your drunken state, you scramble down the pathway. When you get there, you come to another T. You can go left or right.
Think you know my answer?
I do.
Let's go left again.
As you turn left, you come around a corner, turning left almost immediately again. As you continue on your way, the passageway turns right and then turns right again. This time, you can either go straight ahead, but you can see that it ends in what appears to be a dead end, or you can turn left. Left again. You run straight ahead.
We're going in
You
circles.
You can see that the not quite. You can see that the passage in front of you, or the pathway in front of you, is littered with small bones.
Did it die?
Chicken
No.
exploded.
Did our chicken die?
Just feathers and meat everywhere. No, these are quite
No, this is
old.
Tonga, actually upset. Like, did we kill
Did
it?
your chicken die? Gave it a heart attack. Give me perception checks, both of you. Yes, with disadvantage.
Oh shit. 10.
All right,
and
you're going to
17.
dice jail.
What'd you get? I'm sorry, what was your lowest one?
10.
You're adding your perception score to these, right?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
It's only +1.
Oh, okay.
It's shite.
Mellow.
My lowest total was 6.
Okay. These appear to be some sort of chicken bones, but you don't know that they're your chicken because, one, they seem to be very picked clean and older. So you're pretty sure
Who
these aren't.
knows what happened to it?
You're pretty sure these aren't your chicken bones.
Okay.
I'm still going to take one for luck.
Sure. Why not? As you go to grab one, you hear kind of a clattering sound, like the bone that is in your hand jumps away from you as you watch 4 skeletal chickens appear, flapping featherless wings, bones flapping back and forth. I need.
It'd be a
I'm
great
sorry.
drunk story.
I'm sorry, when did we start playing The Legend of Zelda?
Skeleton chickens.
We were always playing Legend of Zelda.
We're all gonna meet back up later, and it's just like, no, really, these skeleton chickens attacked us. You guys were really drunk.
How drunk were you? Okay, I need initiatives from you two, please. What do you think? I was kidding?
I just
Oh.
wish the rest of us could
This is
be there
D&D.
watching.
Regular initiative or with disadvantage?
No, just regular initiative.
Okay.
I still
Oh,
got an 8.
fuck. A 9.
So it's okay. I got like a 2.
Oh, all right. And upon realization that they are, in fact, skeletal chickens, in his drunken stupor, he will take Tonga by the shoulder, point at them, and say, "Cocks!"
Yes. Absolutely. Oh
mean, he's
no.
Wrong.
There's just a conversation
I mean, these ones are just
about.
a little bony.
Thank you for going there for me. All right,
What
first
kind
up,
of forsaken hellhole have we landed on?
Tonga.
What?
You were first up. Remember, you do not have your normal weapons with you, so you don't have your club or your spear.
Oh shit! So I can only punch them?
You can only kick and punch them.
Time
I'm
to
gonna
fist
try-
fight some bony boys.
I'm gonna try and try and
Alcohol
kick
poisoning.
one.
Undead chicken.
I'm gonna try and kick one.
Kick one.
That is an 18 to hit. Hit a chicken.
Still at disadvantage.
Yeah, still at disadvantage.
Oh fuck!
Mm.
It's still 13 to hit the chicken.
13 will hit the chicken.
Okay. So that's
Skeletal chickens.
yeah. So it's if I just kicked it, it's just 5 damage.
So it's 1 plus your strength modifier. What's your strength mod?
Oh yeah, 5.
5. As you.
Well, my
kick
strength
this-
modifier is +4.
Right, so total 5. So you go
Yeah.
to kick this one, and as you do, you scatter the bones into the bushes. You just
I'm a monster.
and it shatters them out.
Did you
I'm
Mellow,
gonna sit down.
Oh my god.
let the skeletal chickens peck you to death?
I'm a fucking monster. It was so
Alright.
innocent.
Sure. Mellow.
I'm gonna torch these fools.
Oh.
What are you using?
I always keep some sort of flint on me. Using produce flame. Cause it's a cantrip. Alright, so let's see. 12 plus 6, so 18.
That'll hit.
Okay.
How much damage does it do?
4.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
While on fire, you now have a flaming skeletal chicken. It is still alive.
Okay. Dude, fried fucking chicken.
Alive. All right, fried chicken. Jesus. It is their turn, though.
Oh no.
Tying back to the song.
The flying, flaming chicken skitters towards you on bony legs. But as it does, it kind of stumbles and rolls to you and comes up, just kind of bouncing in front of you. As I rolled in that one. Tonga.
Cool.
What's your armor class?
17.
Meets it, beats it. You take 2 points of damage as you miss the one behind you that hits you right in the back of the knee with a bony beak. Just like, you reach back and scream like, "Gah!" And then the last one misses you as it tries to do the same thing, but this time pecks your greave and just boonk, bounces off of it. All right, back up to the top. Tanga.
Okay. Oh, is that a fail or? Oh no, that's a nat 20. Oh, but never mind. That's a 12 to hit.
Yeah, that will do it.
Okay. Gonna kick another one of those fuckers. I'm gonna kick the one that's not flaming.
Yes, absolutely. You have 2 of them there that are not on fire trying to peck
Okay,
you.
I'll just pick one. 5 damage. Boosh!
Kick that one to bits. This time you bring your foot up. It's the one that pecked you in the back of the leg. You just kind of bring your foot up and stomp the bones down and grind them under your heel. That chicken is no more. Mellow. Oh God, the chickens.
I got to put out the fire. It's weasel stomping day.
You got your big old boots on?
Yeah. So let's see. Do I add anything to that? Because I don't think I do. Oh, I do. Okay, 18.
18 hits him.
Okay, and you said 1 plus my
1
strength
plus
mod?
your strength mod.
No, just 2.
That's okay. It's enough. And as you stomp it out, you literally have stomped it out. And it is
Okay.
no longer amongst the living. All right. Now. Cool. Just so you all know, we are number 17 on the list of D&D channels right now. Woo! So
Glad we're doing this.
Quality.
So that chicken is now stomped to death, and there is one left who rolls a 2 to try to peck you once again, Tonga, but has no effect. If you guys really want to help, retweet, let people know that we're out here playing D&D and we're fighting skeleton chickens. Spread the love, spread the word, and get people entertained and watching the show if you can. We'd really appreciate it. All right, so you have stomped, or the chicken has tried to peck you, but of course cannot get through the greaves that are on your legs. What are you doing?
This one's not on fire, right?
No. The one that's on fire has been put out sufficiently. In
I
more
have
ways than one.
extinguished it in more ways than one. Yes.
One final kick. All right. A
Boot to the dead.
14 to hit.
Hits it.
5
Welcome, one and
damage.
all. And again, this time you haul back with your leg, and as you punt this one, the bones shatter upwards and over the shrubbery and just kind of rain down on it in a scatter of chicken bones and dust, just kind of onto the top of it. The two of you are not quite as inebriated as you were once. However, now you have a
You know, I
bigger
took an
issue
oath once.
in front of you.
I took an oath once to never fight unless absolutely necessary.
Oh, the chickens were out for murder. They were going to kill you.
Trust me, it was
Just so you
necessary.
know. This
was necessary,
was necessary.
If you hadn't killed him, they would have been like a reoccurring villain.
Yep. You're constantly just
Shows
seeing a
up.
skeletal chicken who goes,
Yes.
It's like the snail in Adventure
Caw.
Time.
Bah.
So, the problem with it now is that you two are having such a good time trying to chase down the chicken with a band on it, the green band. You've become sufficiently turned around. You can continue forward, or you can go back.
Let's keep going forward.
All right. Moving
Just for
forward.
shiggles.
Moving forward, the ground beneath you, which was packed dirt, turns to stone, paving with tile with etchings in them, giving you the image that these are part of a garden stone. As you continue to walk, you hear the soft flow of water. Coming around a bend, you see a small fountain in a square area cleared out. There are 3 other passages out of this area, aside from the one that you just came from.
I want to go swimming.
It's not a very deep fountain.
Did I stutter?
It is in the shape of a chicken. It stands with its tail plumage still fully up, both legs, its head tilted up slightly, and water is spouting from it into a shallow pool. You see several coins in the pool as well. And
Lift me up.
3 chickens.
Oh,
Ah.
In the pool?
No, not in the pool.
Oh, okay.
Scratching about. One of them's drinking, but most of them are just scratching about. Perception checks, please. And you are no longer completely under the effects of the alcohol, so you do not have to roll with disadvantage. However, there's a higher D.
Okay.
okay.
Welcome, one and all. We're chasing chickens.
13.
18.
18. Mellow. You blink your eyes and narrow them as the one that is currently drinking from the fountain, just almost the opposite side of where you came in, has a green band around its legs. The chicken is in sight.
Shut up!
Okay.
We have our quarry.
Guide me to the quarry, fellow prince.
Isn't it a beaut?
And I am straight up tiptoeing like Wile E. Coyote over toward it.
Oh, God. Give me a stealth check.
This can only go well.
High quality content here, folks.
14.
Okay. The chicken is not a perceptive animal.
I feel like this
This is
needs
the
like a
dumbest
National
shit.
Geographic narration. Like, you can see the Triton and the Fire Ganassi stalking their prey.
Okay. You stop in a moment as its head comes up and then continues back down into the water, paying you no mind. Go ahead and give me another stealth check.
Go, Mellow.
13.
You got this.
All right. as you creep slowly and slowly ever closer, hands up at the ready, tiptoeing on the balls of your feet, one step after another. You tip just a little sideways, and as you do to right yourself, you kick up some of the loose rock, some of it right in the way of the chicken, which head.
Son of a mother.
It doesn't move as you're holding very still, but it does know you're there. It's aware of your presence. Now's your chance. Are you going to die for the chicken? Give me an attack roll.
Yeah.
Are you going to chase it or die for it?
Oh, I'm diving.
All right. Attack roll.
Unarmed strikes +3, 17.
17. You dive and you think the chicken's going to get away, but you're able to get your hands right on the bottom of those legs, and you have it. Its wings are flapping furiously. It's trying to fly away from you. You've got this chicken by the legs and the wings. What are you doing? You have your chicken.
He looks like he's going to lift it over his head in triumph, but then thinks better of it.
You hold it upside down. Hey, look, it's our chicken. All right, you have.
You
your
want to
chicken.
take one end? I'll take the other.
Of a chicken?
One of you got the head, and the other one's got the legs. You bring it back, and the guy's like, "It was supposed to be alive." All right, taking the chicken and hanging it upside down, holding it by its legs, its wings just kind of out there, but it's not flapping around violently. Now you have to make your way back out.
Oh, fuck.
So wait.
How tall is the maze?
You aren't able to see over it.
Oh, I can't jump.
You can jump, and all you see is like hedge.
We made a lot of
Okay.
left turns.
We did.
So we just need to
We
make a
did.
lot of right turns.
Yes.
Figure out
Perfect
which
logic.
of these 4 places we actually came out of in the first.
Perfect logic.
I see this going nothing but swimmingly.
While
Easy enough
wrestling
to
the chicken.
It's easy enough to remember which one you came into this area. So you follow it, and it winds back around, and eventually you find yourself with 3 options: left, right, or straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
You
Okay.
continue straight ahead. As you come to that, you are met with another junction.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. You go right. As you continue going right, you find yourself at another junction.
Were there many junctions before?
We were very drunk.
Are we
Are.
still not
I'm
drunk?
sorry. I apologize. Hang on. Let me rephrase that. The first junction you come to, I'm sorry, I got them switched around. The first junction you go to, you can go either left or you can go. Sorry.
Well, then definitely right.
So,
Okay.
right, yeah.
That one winds around. Now you are met with the 3 other options. You can go left, right, or straight ahead.
I remember we went straight at one point, right?
I think so.
Right. He said right. Going down. You chose down.
Alright, let's go straight, yeah.
All right. As you go straight, you finally come around the corner. And as you come around the corner, you look straight across. The halfling is holding a chicken. The half-orc is standing behind him. They see you. You're in equidistance from what you think is the entrance. Both of you on opposite ends of the channel that goes out. You watch as the half-orc reaches down and grabs the halfling. What are you doing?
I grabbed my fire ganassi.
Fire Ganassi's a bit bigger than a halfling.
I'm a strong boy.
Okay, sure.
We're going.
Are you throwing him?
No, we're going.
Oh, you're
Same
just running.
strategy. Yeah,
Okay.
same strategy.
As you start to run forward, you watch as the half-orc throws the halfling, who goes
Oh
in,
shit!
clutching the chicken. He hits the ground in a roll, shoulder over, comes to his feet. You're about equidistant still from the halfling. You guys
Well,
start to move in.
I'm gonna throw him, of course. What else am I
You're
gonna do?
throw.
What the fuck else am I gonna do?
Give me an athletics check on that one, please.
Okay.
I don't think this is gonna go the way you're hoping it goes.
22.
Maybe it will. It is not quite the impressive huck of a halfling that you just watched this gigantic half-orc do. However, not to be underestimated, Mellow, you feel grip at the back of your shirt and the back of your pants, and before you can say anything, you're down the way. I need a dexterity. I need an acrobatics or dexterity check from you, please.
All right. 9.
You have the chicken. You go, oh God, if I land, I'm going to crush the chicken. You manage to roll over your shoulder, thinking to yourself, I'll tuck my head, roll my shoulder, come to my feet. You tuck your head, roll your shoulder, and hit the ground. The halfling stops for a second as your face is covered in dirt, a little scratched up. You are going to... Oh my God! Thank you, Steve, for making this amazing.
Did you guys get the bar fight? No, we were chasing chickens in a maze, and
You take
Tonga
2
threw him.
points of damage, and you clamber to your feet. You look at the halfling who is standing there looking at you as you stand up.
I am going to cast Unseen Servant and trip the hell out of that halfling.
You quickly cast the spell. The halfling starts to run and feels something that he can't see catch his feet. You hear, oh God! And as soon as you do, there's a chicken that runs past you. You continue down and slide to a stop in front of the entrance. What are you doing?
Oh
The
my God.
entrance is right there, and the halfling, who looks bewildered, is
My lungs hurt. I'm sprinting after him.
okay. Yeah, you catch up to him, no problem. The halfling
Yeah.
looks back at the half-orc. The half-orc balls up his fist and starts running your direction.
Keep running till we get to the entrance.
You're at the entrance and you are out. As you exit the area, you watch as the master of games comes over. Takes your chicken and looks it over, compares your armbands to the chickens, and says, as he loads the chicken back into the cage, we have our first place winners.
Yes!
They lift your hands up high above your head and they ask you, what are your names?
I'm Tangaroa.
And I am Mellow.
Tangaroa and Mellow, you've secured the evening. Here is your prize. And he hands you a small satchel with some coin in it. It ends up equaling about 20 gold pieces. And the next thing he hands you is a clucking, moving rooster. Its wings trussed up, its legs free. You have earned your rooster.
Name him Hey Hey.
Oh,
What about the chicken, the dumb one who eats rocks?
chicken. He got
Maybe we should
chicken.
just,
He's now our boat rooster.
maybe we should just eat him.
Yes.
Chimkin.
Chimkin. Is his name Chimkin?
I don't know. I really like Hey Hey because Tonga is secretly Moana, but
You exit the warehouse. 20 gold and 1 chicken richer.
Very nice.
And while that's all going on, the rest of you, Eric, Saitiel has done what? What was Saitiel doing?
Well, he sold his crossbow, sold all of his crossbow bits and baubles,
Mm-hmm.
went to that Arcanist shop that Zora went to, bought at least one round of the supplies that he needs for Find Familiar,
Mm-hmm.
because he has the brass brazier at his at the monastery,
Library.
because that's what he summoned Mila with to
Uh-huh.
begin with. So he bought 10 gold worth of that, and then he was just sort of waiting for everybody else to show up because
Okay.
he's excited to take everybody to the monastery because it's his home.
While all that's going on, and before night sets, because remember, you had all agreed to meet at the monastery.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you may not remember that in their
Mhm.
current state, but the rest of you do. Is there anything else you'd like to do before you compose yourselves and arrive at the library / monastery / book repository in Dallas?
Zora would have gone to the bathhouse place and then headed towards the monastery.
All right. A cleaned Zora arrives at the library, the front of which is on one of the main streets, or it's like where the main street culminates and has a large road that goes around it. The main doors to the monastery are currently open, set open wide, and you can hear faint music in there from somewhere. But you see a lot of men and women dressed in plain garb, just kind of moving in and about.
She's just gonna awkward it up in a corner.
Okay. Saitael is easy to find as you approach. You can see he is pacing a bit, waiting for you all to arrive. Ezra, was there something you wanted to do prior to arriving at the library?
No,
Okay,
he got his the pearl made into a bead, so
perfect. And then I assume that Zastari is with Saitael, so
She's
by
probably
the time
leaning against the wall, waiting for everybody else
looking,
to show up.
flipping a knife in her hand.
Well, no. She's using it to clean her nails.
As you do. The four of you finally converge there at the to this beautiful place. Looking inside, it smells of old parchment and pages, of bookbinding materials, and it's wonderful. At least to Satael, maybe to the rest of it. But it is very, very comforting. The slight smell of like warm hearthstone encroaches in the smell as well, letting you know that the place is warm. You haven't really noticed it coming off of the ocean the way you have, but Jopus Landing isn't as warm as Port Owl. As a matter of fact, looking around, you can see that there are large coniferous forests like out in the open. You can see pine and fir. The whole area is just a little bit chillier than where you came from.
Zora very happy.
Yes. The region around there looks a lot more rocky than Port Owapaw, which was sandy and more tropical. Even the port that you came into, where you passed through the large gates, you can see that there were lighthouses that kind of guided the way in. As you approach the library, you all kind of gather and wait. And some time passes. Tanga and Mello don't turn up. Full dark sets in. The temperature in the air starts to descend. And still, no Tanga, no Mello. What are you all doing?
Should we go look for them?
They can't possibly be getting into that much trouble. No. They can't. It's Tangaroa.
yeah, but it's also mellow.
Yeah.
But it's Tangaroa.
And they were going to a bar, a tavern.
Does Tangrel even drink?
We've seen him drink.
Have
Do
we?
they
We've
get
also
into
seen him flat on the ground
they-
after drinking. Sorry.
do they get into fights like you do? And she points at Zastari.
I don't get into fights.
I
She
mean,
gets out of
yeah.
fights.
Okay, sure.
People
After
start
going down.
accusing me of things that I don't do, and then won't listen when I'm telling the truth.
Okay. Do they
Sa-
do that?
I'll say why she says that. Satiel's gonna glance at her hands.
Which are behind her back.
Okay.
Are they?
Yes. No, she. As soon as they started talking, she would have put them behind her back. She's not stupid.
Well-
She knows what she does.
I mean,
well, I'm
they,
gonna go look for them.
I'll come with you. They can't be that hard to find. They kind of stick out.
Yeah.
Could probably ask somebody at like the bars near the port and see maybe where they went. I'm sure someone's seen.
Have you seen two obnoxious idiots?
Maybe.
Other than
You're
you?
gonna have to be a little more specific.
Yeah, really. They're just kind of like, you too? Who all is going to go search for your idiots?
Ezra.
Zora will
Ezra and Zora. All right. What about the other two?
Satiel will just kind of wait. He'll chill.
Uh,
Before they left, Zora would have been like, "Do you guys have anywhere in here that like somewhere to burn incense for spells?"
For what spell?
It's supposed to summon like an assistant, familiar.
Oh, that. I own one actually,
Oh,
so
cool.
I can go get it from my room. I had planned on picking it up and bringing it with us in case I ever have to resummon Mila.
I just want it to be like this giant brazier.
At some point, I might ask you to borrow that, and then she like runs off behind us.
Okay, bye. Good luck finding the idiots.
We'll probably need it.
Are they going to be okay to do that by themselves?
It's Ezra.
I'm gonna pick them up
Ezra's
both
a
up
big boy.
over both of my shoulders. It's fine.
I mean, he seems like the kind of guy that doesn't really take no for an answer when he really wants something done. So I get the feeling if he finds them and they resist, he'll probably come back with them carried over his shoulders like sacks of potatoes.
I'm inclined to agree, but also feel the need to point out that when sober, Tangaroa was attempting to pick a fight with that ship
Well, it
captain.
wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, I heard that and saw that and just about put the entire ship to sleep for that, but I figured that might not be a good idea in case any of them resisted the spell. But yeah.
Yeah. They'll be
All right.
fine.
What's the
had
worst
to
that could
say
happen?
Someone,
You had
Did you
you
tell
both.
me not to say those words, Satael?
He just sort of grins at her, is like,
This is gonna go horribly
Yeah.
I need.
because
I
you've said
need-
it.
I need our two adventurers, our brave rescuers, to give me investigation checks, please.
Investigation.
something I should have been there with, because
I mean, I have my
a
eye.
stupidly. But Satiel has a stupidly high investigation too.
Congratulations, you have your eyes?
I have good perception. I don't have good investigation. Ah, that's an 8.
The dice lied to me. I got a dirty 20.
Awesome. Ezra, your awkwardness and size kind of tend to give people pause for a moment as they look at you, and you go, "Have you seen these idiots?" And then start to give a description. People by that time are starting to walk away. Zora, who is much more approachable, given her just kind of like shy, awkward It's more of a oh bless her. Um, the two of you make quite the pair. I mean, honestly,
Just pick me up on your
After-
shoulders.
after Ezra realizes that, he is going to actually use polymorph and go into a human form.
okay.
That's really
Zora,
handy.
let's say, yeah, Zora. You look over and watch as the hulking, brutish form, even though he's the sweetest little thing. Watch as the hulking, brutish form of Ezra kind of shrinks down to a more amicable, approachable human side from the I look like I bench press full carts.
I'd like to think he's at least tried that once.
With,
He also looks human, so
with the horses attached.
those-
It's the wide stance. You got to like, it works the back a lot more. Anyways, yeah. Sorry. You do get some information about some people who aren't as familiar around town, especially when you start giving the description of a sea elf. Tritons aren't seen a whole lot. They kind of keep to themselves. Some people in town remember having watched them go into one of the local establishments, and you find yourselves in a bar. As you're looking around, I would like another investigation check from both of you as you start to ask questions about your missing friends.
13.
18.
All right. This time, the people are a lot friendlier, especially since they remember the two. Not
Are
because
they?
of their appearance, but because of the song that they were singing. They tell you that they were kicked out of the place because of this horrendous song that may or may not have involved the Keep's mother in a not describable way. Mostly from
That
Mello.
sounds like Mellow.
Mostly from Mello. The other one seemed a bit taken aback at the mention of the unknown lady. They asked what they could do for fun in this town, and they were told that the cock chase was one of the things that people should do. Then they explained to you what the cock chase is. They release these roosters into a maze. You chase them down based on the armband color and the band color around the chicken's leg. The winner gets a pot, a purse of money, as well as the chicken to put in their. So they get the pot and the chicken for the pot.
I imagine like Zora's face was red until they actually explained what it was.
Ezra's just sitting there, like, eyebrows pulled together, like, what do you mean?
That sounds dangerous and painful for at least half of the parties
All
involved.
participants.
Thank you for the host, Bubba, and for the subscribe. We really appreciate it, man. As you start to move around and they give you the location where the warehouse is, and you start to make your way over there. At about that time, you don't have to go very far as you hear the sound of not an unhappy bird, but just like the
Frustrated?
yes, and you
I know
see
that
your
noise.
two friends coming along the street with a chicken bound and trussed up, holding it by the legs, and both of them, we'll get to that in just a second. And both of them appear under the influence. Setael and Zastari. How verbose in history is Setael, and how much does he like to impart on people?
Yes.
I feel
Yes
like
is the proper answer.
as soon as those two left, he just started going on about the architecture of the monastery and has stopped for breath maybe 4 times in the past 5 minutes.
So he did a thing where he
No,
elongates the words.
it's circular breathing. He hasn't stopped. Period.
Architectural significance.
Like, and she's just standing there with rapt attention, like she promised, because he took her to Sarness's first.
Yeah, he's just
And of course, some of this is not new to her, given her background. So, but she lets him talk because it makes him happy.
How very sweet of you. And as you let him talk, there is a slight fluttering sound that interrupts the conversation. I should say the one-sided conversation Not that of a bird wing, but like a piece of paper that the edge of it flutters up every once in a while.
Do you hear that?
And yes, it does catch your attention as well.
Oh, I hear it.
What is that?
Sounds almost like a hard wind through a library with open books.
I mean, yes. He's gonna try to figure out what that is.
Perception checks. If you would like to
Okey-doke.
do that as well.
Sure.
Yeah. His owl is still in her plane because napping, so it'll just be me. Perception is a
14.
15.
Okay. Alongside of these two large columns that rise up to form part of the entranceway, it looks a bit like the outer pillar walls of like Notre Dame. They're not pillars; they're like these
Buttresses.
channels of stone. Yes, buttresses. Thank you. They form along the front edge of this. You can see several posters and things that have been put up, as they are wont to allow people to do. They post up announcements and things like that on either side for people to come and go and read them. One of them has come loose, and more importantly, as though faded, it is the request for knowledge on the whereabouts of a missing noble woman. So, Starry, I need a sanity check from you, please.
Sawtails is reading it.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. There is mention of some name that is very familiar to you. Is that the pose you're holding as you read it, or looking at it straight face?
Am I reading it like
Like
next to
standing.
him?
Yeah, unless you tell me you're otherwise.
And by very familiar name, you mean it's my name?
Mm-hmm.
She's just gonna like gently try and tug that paper out of his hands.
What?
No, I just can't read it. Unless I have it right in front of my face, if you wouldn't mind.
Here's a better question for you. Does it say Zastari?
No, it does not.
Okay.
The name on the sheet is actually notes.
That's okay. You don't have to reveal the name on the sheet unless you read it.
No, I'm willing to reveal the name. It's just, I mean, it doesn't say Zastari. The name is Kosalia Zylstina, which is not what any of you know me by.
As you look over the paper,
Would you mind typing that out to me so I can put it in my notes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is something he would remember, name-wise. Not that
looking
that's
over
her name,
the. Actually, this is where I need you to give me a history check. Yes.
Okay.
Yikes.
Big yikes.
Please tell me.
17 plus 6.
No!
23.
I now need you to give me a sanity check.
Me as well?
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
She's still trying to tug this paper out of his hands, for the record.
17 plus 4. 21.
All right. It's like your brain is reading this in the same way that you would look in a funhouse mirror and see copies of yourself in either way. I forgot what that effect is called when you see yourself like in a mirror stacked through an infinite amount. But your brain is reading this and trying to overlay information from two different planes. And for a second, it starts to give you a headache. And as you reconcile everything, you do take 1 point of psychic damage. And Zastari, as you're watching him, his eyes are locked on there. He seems to go out of focus, like his eyes go out of focus for a second. and just a small trickle of blood comes out of his nose. But all
Ow.
of the information finally lays over.
Say anything different, or just that
No.
everything finally settled?
Everything's finally settled into place, and
Okay.
you recognize that it's a noble family. Not one anywhere near here, seemingly pretty far away, but yeah, a noble family of elven descent, an elven name, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
I'm gonna let you
Is
two
it-
ponder that.
Yeah.
Drosta? Is that how you
Tanga,
pronounce it?
Mellow,
Thanks, Zero.
Tanga, Mellow. You celebrate the winning of your chicken and your 20 gold pieces to be split between the two of you.
Mhm,
How
mhm.
would you like to celebrate your win?
That good old Kawa, you know?
Kawa. Explain further, please.
Okay. Kawa is a narcotic drug that
I didn't actually mean to. I just. Sorry, I'm sorry.
in real life, Kawa is very mild and you actually drink it, but in my world, it's got more of a like tang to it. Um, Tonga and his people use it to like for like enlightenment purposes, which is not a Polynesian thing. That's just my thing.
Is it? It's
Um,
like peyote.
It's like peyote, yeah, but more of like a yeah, I guess kind of like peyote. It's got like a chipper kind of effect to the person. Very
It makes them
very
upbeat.
yeah. It's very like relaxing but happy, like ecstasy and weed kind of put together.
Are you giving him the herbal version of ketamine? Oh, we're gonna lose our channel.
Are we giving it to the chicken?
Terms of service, I
No,
promise
to
you,
you,
Twitch.
Mellow.
Twitch, we are not
Oh, I didn't say
doing
what
anything
order.
wrong. This is not a real thing. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's all fiction. We do not condone the use of drugs.
Of
Alcohol is a
course
different story.
not.
Except when it's hilarious in fiction.
There's a difference between drugs and medication. Okay, put that down.
It's a drug. It's still a drug.
Put it down. Anyway, so you introduce Mello to this?
Yeah. It's
How?
okay. So back where I'm from, we have a very special way to celebrate and to recognize one's achievements or to reach some sort of enlightenment together. And I'm wondering if you're interested. It's like you kind of smoke it. I don't know if that's a thing that people do, like on the mainland, but
I mean, I'll add fire to anything. I
I'm
mean,
gonna
you
take
know,
that as a
provided.
yes. So he's gonna like he'll get down and like reach into his bag and pull out his herbalist kit and like take out like the they're pretty dried um herbs and kind of like rubs them together in his hands so they kind of are crushed like a little bit so they're not so chunky. Doesn't like roll them up in like a joint. He like stuffs them into an actual thing to smoke.
Sure, he doesn't.
It's small. It's small. It's not a pipe. It's just
Like
it's not
a
a glass
bead.
pipe. It's like a long I should say it's not like a glass pipe. It's more like a real like wooden one. That's
Like a
long and
Gandalf
it's
pipe.
got the yeah, it's sort of more straighter. Like a chanupa.
Sanipo and pipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll hand it up to Mello and be like, "Would you do the honors?"
If toking is the honors. I assume I should be making another Constitution save at this point.
Yes. Yes, please. Just cinnamon.
Oh, oh no!
How bad was that?
I was just picturing the cinnamon. No,
They
that's a
They
14.
gave you oregano. A 14. It's oregano. It doesn't hit you like a ton of bricks, but then again, you are a rather worldly individual. However, you do feel the effects of it, at least in a mild form. As you puff, puff, pass, I assume. Tanga, go ahead and give me a roll as well.
Con save?
Yes, please.
15.
Okay. You're more accustomed to it, so it doesn't hit you, but it does help enhance the drunk that you had going on. So your mellowed out state of being just in the buzz kind of spirals into that whole, oh, this is fun again. And you find yourselves walking up the street because my brain originally said, well, one of the things you can use for walking is tripping. But I'm not going to say you're tripping up the street. So you're walking up the street when coming the other direction is Zora, along with a human. They're holding a chicken. Muted.
You guys?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, you guys won the chicken, I'm guessing. I hope. This has a lot more explanation.
We got drunk and found some cock. I don't know. How was your evening?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like hiding her face and just like, no.
Tunga's like, I don't get it.
Of course you don't.
Here, hold this. Hands him the chicken.
What? Okay, so are we killing the chicken?
No!
No!
Oh.
Look how they both went no!
His name is Archibald and he is our son!
The
I've
farm,
only had
like,
Archibald for like 5 minutes.
anything happens to him.
I'm killing everybody in this room or in this town, and then myself. All right. As you guys reunite, you convince them to head back toward the library, the monastery.
I'm hoping the
Where
convincing
you're
was just turning them around and pushing them in
Yes.
that direction.
That really is all it was.
Zora's just like, this is Ezra too. We came, yeah.
As you make your way back, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, if that's good with everybody, so we can get up, refresh our drinks, go to the restroom, take a breather. We'll be back again in like 10 minutes, so 20 till the hour, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Thank you all for tuning in to Dire Bear Adventuring Company's Monday Night, the Escorts episode 11, where we've been chasing chickens. Well, all right, we'll see you guys shortly. Thank you so much.
Sun is out here overseas. Dark emotions a dream. I'm still waiting for a different sign, waiting for someone to take me away. Get these thoughts off my mind as I wait, thinking of you, hoping that you are thinking of me too. I cannot sleep without you by me, and I miss you, I miss you, I miss That is why I've been waiting for someone like you. That is why I've been waiting for someone like you. Still waiting for your witty replies, waiting for your touch and kiss. I can't get you off my mind. I am trying to live another day
Hold up. If you turn around, you gon' face the lid. Shooting from above, go to sleep, you dead,
Silly question. Would this be anywhere near? Oh, never mind.
Welcome back, everyone. Hold on a moment. That's for you, Steve. That's for Sarah. This one's for me.
I'll bring this back.
Oh God.
I have it here for just such an occasion.
I will find you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We have right now, it looks like that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. You making that noise? Where are we getting mic pickup from?
That's
Sorry.
V.
1 second.
Is that
okay.
me?
Yep, that's you.
All right. I wanted to tell everyone to stay tuned after our show. When we go off the air, we're going to raid. We're going to be raiding over to Nerdsmith. Tonight is another episode of their ongoing 9 Hells of a Good Time. Tonight's a special episode for me, anyways, because some very good friends of mine, Ars Mythica, which is Sarah and Carl Jordan, are going to be running or playing in the episode tonight, as they themselves will be dealing with chickens. It's a chicken night, I guess.
Excellent.
Abyssal chickens, nonetheless. So
we're
stay
all just
tuned.
playing Legend of Zelda tonight, then, apparently.
Apparently, I don't know what's going on in their story, but there we go. Decca, I'm glad you clapped. So again, stay tuned after our show. We are going to raid over there and keep ourselves have ourselves a hell of a good time with everybody from that group. Hang on just one second here. All right, so with that being said, let's pick up. Now, you all make your way back to the monastery, inebriated friends and chicken in tow. Your brush with the divergence in realities finally over, and your mental faculties coming back into acuity. You can see that there is no shortage of individuals who are bustling about taking care of the place, you yourself having been a caretaker of a sorts raised there. Your contacts, of course, and the people that know you well are still there in the monastery itself.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hoping to gain, or what are we doing?
Well, before the party gets back,
Hmm?
since he's bleeding from the nose, she's going to pull out a handkerchief and deal with that first.
Oh,
And
thanks.
then, once again, very quietly, ask for the slip of paper.
I mean, yeah, you can have it if you want to. I've already memorized it.
Why?
Power move.
Why?
Because I memorize everything I see. It's just part of how my mind works.
And there's no way that I could possibly get you to forget that you saw this piece of paper?
Why?
Because it's not important?
Then why do you want me to forget?
Because why would you want to remember a useless detail like this?
Because then that would be an aberration to my normal modus operandi of remembering everything I see.
Okay, you said words, and I have absolutely no idea what those mean.
Because you're asking me to
for the
do
record,
something.
Zastari the character, I know what they mean. The
Yeah.
player knows. Zastari the character's like, excuse me?
He pauses a second. It's like, because that would be very different than what my brain normally does.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not important, then why are you so worried about it?
I just wouldn't want to see you misremember or forget something else in exchange for this tidbit of knowledge. That's all.
But I don't.
Well, I didn't know that. I don't know how this shit.
It was really just a matter of time.
Since her hands are like, since she's pulling
This
something out to come
paper-
to him with it.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, the paper is definitely crinkled. Like, her hands are gripped very tightly around this piece of paper. But I did roll a 19 on the die.
I was about to say he was going to be looking at her hands to see what her hands are doing.
With a
considering
plus
that is
6.
a tell that he noticed.
With a +6 for 25.
They are gripping that piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And not fidgeting.
Because they're gripping something.
Because they're gripping something.
Yeah. He pauses for a second. He just sort of looks at her. He doesn't say anything. But
God, please
he'll
stop
just
looking at me like that. God damn it. You're giving
Like
me that
what?
disappointed dad look. Would you stop?
Dad?
Don't blame Satya. He never knew his father.
He doesn't know his parents. That's true.
He never knew his father.
Oh my god, I hope they get back soon. She's just gonna shove this piece of paper as deep into her pack as she can get it.
Okay. It's a good 20 or 30 minutes, and you guys are just kind of milling about. And once again, Satya launches into the history of the area where Jopus Landing came from, including where it got its name, because originally it was not called that. It was actually some other harbor name that you kind of are listening to him, but you are not hearing him. So what you see is mouth moving. What you hear is Jopus Landing. Sure enough, though, they do come back, and you can see that you can see that Tanga and Mello have won a chicken, and they look as though they are in a whole other plane of existence and are having the best time. And you're a little bit jealous, Zastari.
Why are you choking a chicken?
Did they bring dinner?
No!
I'm glad someone made that joke
Son of a
because I
bitch.
was gonna.
He doesn't know the
Probably
difference.
we can make it through the entire episode.
Yeah, but see, he's not making it for the point of being a joke. All he
Each
sees is somebody
Satya.
with their hands around the neck of the chicken.
Around the legs.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh no, I'm
Around
holding
the
it,
legs.
so I'm holding it. Like,
Oh, you're like
Swaddling
cradling
it like a baby.
Okay, so yeah, why are you choking the chicken?
I don't get it.
Did you, it's, Tina, is that Tangaroa not getting it or you not getting it?
Tanga.
No, Tonga doesn't get
Okay.
it.
I have to double check, okay?
No, you don't.
You think
Just
I don't
go
know
with
what a
it.
dirty joke means? Do you know me?
Assume you're in character unless otherwise.
So you brought dinner.
No.
She gets it.
Well, I mean,
We brought a
honestly,
mascot.
You can get dinner just fine. He stops mid-sentence, looks at Mello, goes, "No."
I'm sorry. Did you say mascot?
Is Ezra still human?
Yes.
Okay.
Polymorph lasts for an hour. He might
Also,
have
who's your
been stupid.
friend?
Ezra decided he wanted to look different. It worked better for getting information, kind of. Yeah.
Scared of me, so I changed.
He just waves at Ezra.
I like you better the other way, frankly. I mean,
to me, Ezra's Ezra, regardless
he
of what
looks
form he's
cute
in.
that way.
He's still great.
The other way.
be yourself.
Be yourself.
But, if y'all are looking for dinner, you can probably find something in the monastery. It's a big place.
Why do we need a mascot?
You already have one. He points to his owl.
Well, this is our mascot.
You have your mascot, we have ours.
My god.
Ours
my
is
gods.
better.
My gods, I actually thought you two going off on your own was going to be a safe bet.
Why is this a bad thing?
Nothing
We had a
bad happened.
friend.
We won.
We made a friend.
He leans over to Zastari. Are they drunk?
Very.
That explains a lot.
Including inebriated on other substances that I have no identification for.
I mean, give me enough time, I could probably figure it out.
Yeah, somehow I don't
Touching
think we
your
want
face.
to know.
In your face.
Well, he just like
You
literally
always felt this soft.
once everybody's there, he just says, "Well," and sort of rubs his hands together, turns around, just walks to the door.
Don't you want to meet Archibald?
Nope, I'm going home.
You named it.
Now you gotta keep it.
Of course.
I only want to meet Archibald if he is going to be on my plate.
Why are you so cruel? Why can't you just accept our son?
You are.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you
what?
noticed that she's cool.
I don't have the processing power left for today to deal with this. I'm going inside the monastery. I do not have the daggers left to deal with this today. I'm going inside the monastery.
Is that the fantasy equivalent of spoons?
For her, it is.
All right.
Ezra's just gonna.
Following your friend into Setael into the monastery.
Yes.
Ezra.
No, I'm just saying that he's pushing Tonga and Mello forward to make sure that they're following along and they don't go
Oh.
off again.
It's
Pushing.
Hands
like
on back, push.
Getting the push. Hey, aren't you a tall bag of salad?
I was gonna say, as soon as he feels like Ezra's hand on his back, he's gonna look back and be like, "Hey, hey, hi,
Hi.
hi." Hmm.
Zora's just like both hands on cheek, just walking ahead. Like,
I'm just gonna.
no.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say that Mello did, in spite of being drunk, notice that.
Okay.
Roll a 17.
Okay. Great.
I'm gonna print out
So
that's
everybody's heading inside.
In spite of better efforts.
Do
I
they
feel
allow
like
the
you're not
chicken
even
in?
walking. You're not even walking. Ezra's just pushed.
Sir, this is my emotional support chicken.
We'll get him a
My-
little sweater tomorrow.
You bet your dirt
emotional
donkey it is.
support Owl. This is my emotional support fowl.
But it's a rooster,
ooh.
so somebody make that joke later.
Emotional support cock. So you're getting that?
Fucking damn it.
No, I knew what I was getting into. It's fine.
He did call it cock chasing.
Hey, V, high five.
I was like, I
Rocks
can do that.
fall, you all die.
How's your TKP?
I haven't
we
done
don't
a
want to
damn
talk.
thing. That's not fair.
Clone spell. We're back.
All right, as you make your way into the monastery, while you do get the odd look, they do not stop you from bringing the chicken inside. Setael, you are looking for anyone in particular? Mentor, friend?
He's looking for the man that raised him.
Okay. Easy enough to find.
Yes.
You knock on the door of the place inside is very utilitarian. It's very stark. There is some decoration along the way, but most of it is very much stone and wood and designed to be function over, just straight function over form. You knock on the door and it is met with a one moment, and eventually
Okay.
the door is opened. Bushy eyebrows that seem to start on one end and stop on the other, and a long beard greet you as he looks up.
Hello.
An older voice, still strong and sturdy, cries out to you, Satael, my boy. Come,
Hey,
come.
Dad.
Oh,
He'll
And
lean down and
he-
give him a hug.
all right. He returns the embrace warm. He invites you into the room
I found friends.
and asks for introductions. Who are your companions that you've brought with you today?
Well, these are the friends I made when I left the monastery to go on my journey for a bit.
Right.
This is a starry. He'll point to the starry. He'll just go. This is a starry. She's really good at disappearing. Like really good. Like almost on command of his ability spells.
I see.
This is Tangaroa. He has his own boat. It's cool. He's a Triton actually of the Sea Tribe Elves. Of the Sea
So
Elves.
I can see.
Yes,
A
yes, yes.
pleasure to make your acquaintance, as well as you, Zastari.
He will then point at Ezra and like, this is Ezra. He is not a human usually.
Ezra will drop it. I'll drop his polymorph at that
Oh,
point.
there's Ezra.
Hmm.
He is really strong and very nice. Very, very nice. Yes.
Good to make your acquaintance.
This is Zora. We met her later, but she's just a lot of fun to hang out with. She's great. This is Mello.
My friends call me Mel.
Mello. And what is it you do again?
Well, I can show you. You see,
He
he
plays
takes out his
music.
guitar.
He plays music and full stop.
Oh,
That's what they
okay,
say.
but yes,
I
right.
do enjoy
He's a bard.
music. Do you have any stories or poems
Oh no.
to share?
We just wrote a
Oh
song.
no! Oh no!
Oh, did you write any of that down?
Those
Oh,
two are
uh,
drunk
No.
as well, by the
no,
way, so
no,
you might
but
want to
like
wait.
I'm sure we can recall it,
Are any of
right?
their stories allowed? Are songs allowed in the monastery? The ones they sing?
Probably not.
Well, I usually don't take music until after dinner, so it's
We
fine
can
if
do
you
a slam poetry read
hold.
of our lyrics.
Oh.
Um,
He just gets all excited for seconds. Oh, and you remember how you sent me off to go learn more about the world and everything?
yes.
Turns out we kind of did find something that sort of changed the fabric of reality as we knew it.
He blinks at you and has no idea what you're talking.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it later. Yeah, it was interesting to say the least. Few people died. There was this big old caravan group. We saved everybody we could, so that worked out. It's
Especially the apes.
yeah, they were interesting. Big, like 12-foot tall, like sentient ape creatures.
And we saved every one of them.
He takes a moment to think because I wrote this down.
None of them died.
The Aonai is what their tribe was called, actually.
I do know of the Aonai.
But we were coming through Jopus Landing because we were escorting someone named Hannah to go look at some ruins, sort of further along the way. And I figured since we were in Jopus Landing, I wanted to show them the monastery because they're my friends and it's home, and I missed you.
The squared tips of the dwarven fingers tap you on the chest gently, and it is good to see you as well. Your friends, of course, have a place to stay here, as long as they need.
Thanks.
He looks at the rest of the party and says, I apologize, but it is sparse and meager. There is no luxury here, so I can understand if you would rather sleep somewhere with soft beds and drink in hand. And with that, he looks pointedly at Mello and Tangaroa when he says drink in hand. However, if you would like to, we do have room. We're actually getting ready to serve the evening meal if you would like to join us.
Food?
Satiel perks up.
Oh yes.
Yes. Food.
I'll show them to the mess hall if you'd like me to.
Mess.
Please, don't make a mess.
Don't.
If you
Well-
would, you know the way, my son.
I do. You know how good I am at cleaning up after people. I got used to it. What? Have you seen some of the new initiates?
Anyways, thank you, and we'll talk more about the thing you had mentioned to me earlier.
Sure. Yep.
And with that,
He'll give him a hug before he leaves again.
he gives you a tight embrace. It's that the dwarven strength, even though he is old, is still not fled him. Gives you one of his very familiar crushing hugs. And
There's a cracking sound as his back
Yeah.
pops.
And it's like, oh, it feels good.
Ugh.
Hurts.
Thanks, Dad.
You find yourself winding through the halls of the cathedral, out into a small garden, and then into a building that the roof is actually removable. It actually can be pulled apart and then put back together. Currently, the roof is on, and the makeshift walls, which are really woven mats that have been rolled down, are in place. A large hearth sits at one end of this, basically what is very fancy gazebos. And as you take your place around one of the many tables that are set up in this, you start to watch as others of the monastery, those who watch over the place and keep the knowledge and tend to the books and things like that, make their way in. You can see the very familiar sign of ink on wrists from the scriveners. You can see stained fingers from those who do book bindings, tired eyes from those who do translations, and as they start to move into the room, they all smile at you, Satael, and wave. Some of those that know you, others that don't give the entirety of the group just a small wave. Eventually, all of the tables are filled, and you watch as Satael's father comes shuffling into the gazebo. He stokes the fire, making it kick up once more with a bright blaze, warming the room for a moment as he turns. And he looks around and says, platters are in place, and food will be ladled soon. I would like to, for those of you who have not seen, my son Satael is home after a long journey, and we are, as always, excited to have him back with us. He has brought friends. We will treat them as though they are our own. We will see to their needs as they sup and rest with us this evening, finding respite here in our hallowed hall. Well, I'm famished, and I'm sure you all are as well. With that, and he claps, and it's a thunderous sound, even though he just barely made a motion. And you watch as they're not dressed in robes; they are dressed in a white shirt with aprons and things. They come carrying large cauldrons out, made of wrought iron. They take the lids off and ladle onto the platter roasted potatoes, or actually boiled potatoes and carrots, and a chunk of what appears to be lamb or maybe beef of some kind out into each plate. You watch as another one with large basket on their hip takes and hands out rolls, some sort of a rye bread that's baked there. Hang on just one second, guys. Handing out rolls, and eventually everybody is served. The last one to come around is carrying several carafes, and they start to pour out drink for everybody. And eventually everyone is served, they themselves taking the last spot, having served themselves as they moved around. And once everyone is seated, dinner is had. And it's a very homey atmosphere, as though you came from a large family. Everybody is in conversation, talking about things. There aren't groups where they're all sitting here or there. They're all sitting together, and they're all supping, and they're all talking about what they've done. A bit of knowledge that was gleaned from an old tome. A frustrating translation that's trying to get moved onto paper and how they're going to overcome the problem. And the conversation, Satael, is soothing, has the effect to make your soul at rest and your brain tingle and everything go the right way.
He is wholeheartedly taking part in all these conversations that are any conversation that's addressed to him. He is very eagerly contributing for everyone in the party. He is just like face shining. Just he's home, and it shows.
Right. So, as you guys eat and the evening goes on, they ask, one of the servers gets up and asks if you would like more. If you're still hungry, if they would like, they can treat you to more. And you watch as a few of the robed individuals, some of the clergy there, absolutely, they say yes, absolutely, please. And you see as they take seconds and things like that. Everyone eats to their fill. Eventually, all of the platters are carried away, and you watch as several of the robed figures, both men and women, get up and move out to clean up. Satael's father comes over and guides you all to a kind of it's not a barracks per se, but you can see that it is like sleeping cells where there is a hallway and several rooms lined on either side that are currently, he says, these rooms are not in use. Feel free to make yourselves at home. If there is anything you need, ask Satael, and we will make sure that you are tended to.
Satiel's just grinning. He's excited.
Zora like grabs the bag of potatoes on her back. She's like, would you guys use these? I probably don't need all of these. And I think the person that gave these to me probably appreciate them being passed on. I mean, I'll keep a couple just for me, but you can have. And she kind of like hands the bag over.
Sure. You watch as he takes them from you, and he thanks you graciously, like almost bowing to you as you hand them over to him.
Does the same thing. She's like, they wouldn't travel really well, and
we got them from a storm giant.
They were really nice.
Wow.
He says you got to boil them or blanch them a long time. They're a little tough, but they're really good.
There's those mushrooms he gave you too, right?
It was
tuberose,
potatoes.
Yes.
Or
Okay.
like root vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were. Is like
almost like a yucca.
Yeah, like a yucca or a jicama. All right. You guys rest for the evening. Restore any HP lost. You sleep away the drunk. As the night falls, Ezra, maybe it's the bed, maybe it's the temperature in the room, maybe it's just an unfamiliar place, but you are tossing and turning, and eventually you find yourself, your bare feet on the stone floor in this room. There is a single window with which you can see a cloudy night, stars appearing occasionally through a tapestry of strained clouds that seem to float by like wisps of cotton. The moon is nowhere in sight, but you can still see where it shines down a little bit on the courtyard. And as you watch, you're leaning against it, and it's not a wide fixture. But you're leaning there with your hands looking up at the sky. And while it's no prison, and you are not a prisoner, there's something unsettling about being locked in this room. Or not locked in this room, but in this room. You pace the floor for a minute, but eventually find yourself opening the door to step out. The hallway goes to your left or to your right. Which way would you like to go?
Left.
All right. You journey left, walking past door after door after door, and eventually it turns left and you turn with it and you can see a door that is on its own, stuck at the end of the hallway, apparently leading out of this building. You push the door open, and you can see not a courtyard like the one you were in, but it is definitely grass just on the outside of the cathedral. A short distance from where you're standing, you can see the start of the forest, the large conifers like pine, big thick pines and other trees that are there. As a matter of fact, they're so dense that there is, even in the dark, you can see the blanket of pine needles that cover the ground, causing it to be almost very soft to the touch as you start to move. I would like for you to give me a perception check.
23.
Here and there throughout the forest, in the distance, you see what appear to be women dressed in white. Though there's not really a breeze, they seem to flow around them. One of them starts to move your way, and you easily make out their shape. They seem to almost float, their feet just above the ground, like almost as though it's a light touch. Again, the gown that they wear flows around and clings to the figure, one woman. As she gets closer and closer, you can see that she looks familiar to you. I need you to give me a sanity check, please.
It's a 9.
Your mother sits before you, floating just above the ground. Her toes pointed down, a lover's caress, the edge of her toe against the pine needle bed. She holds her hands out to you and it's your mom.
He's going to her.
As you make your way out to her, she embraces you in a hug. It's not a warm childhood memory of a hug. It is a cold and crushing thing, not trying to drain the life from you, but trying to cling to you, as though she were being drawn away from you by a strong tide, and you are a rock and security in and amongst that. The grip is so tight on you that for a moment you feel like you'll be pulled along with whatever it is that is pulling her out to sea, and you scrabble, your feet dragging on the pine needles, and as you feel it, you realize that you're rushing along, and you don't know where you're going, but there's a light just beyond her, and she clings. You feel something wet against your neck as she clings tighter to her, her fingernails now in the back, gripping you tightly as you go. And then you feel them scrape along your skin, almost to the bone. And you watch as her face in horror is ripped from you. She holds a hand, the fingertips still soaked slightly in your blood. And whatever the bright light is that she was pulled to fades, and you sit up, your breath caught in your chest, lying on the bed in your room, your heart boom, 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 pounding in your chest. You touch your back for a moment. And they're still there. The marks. What is Ezra doing?
Is he still bleeding?
There's not any blood, but the marks are still there.
He'll get up and look out the window really quickly just to see what the sky is like.
From what you remember to now, it's a lot darker. But the skies are clear, stars are out. Again, you can't see the moon just from where you're positioned, but you can see it shining down.
Um, he'll he'll leave the room for a bit, but he's not going the way he did in his dream.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to walk the corridors a bit, but he'll stay inside.
So instead of going, I think you went left the last time. Instead of going left,
Gonna
you're
go-
going right.
Yeah.
You pass a few doors before you come to the end of the hall, and there is a doorway in front of you. It's got a small window with some iron bars, and you can kind of peek through and see that it looks like another hallway like this one.
As much as I hate it, that's his mom, and Ezra's a bit of a mama's boy. He's gonna turn back down the hallway and go back the other way. He knows his mom's alive, but like the fact that he's got the marks on his back is just he wants to know what that was. So he's gonna take the moment to decide to go back.
Okay. You make your way back the opposite direction, turning the corner where you saw the door that led outside. There's nothing there. It's a brick wall. Corridor continues down from where you are.
He's gonna walk around until he sees a door that might be familiar to the one from his dream.
Okay. None of them strike the same chord as the one from your dream. And eventually you come to the one that does lead back out to the courtyard. You guys having supper earlier that evening.
He'll go outside. He'll go back to the courtyard.
Okay. The courtyard is nestled in the middle of the structure. You can still see the outdoor structure, the pavilion where you guys ate supper. You can see many entrances back into the monastery from different locations, and a covered walkway on either side that is walled on the other side. So it's a covered walkway, but it's walled inside, open on the inside. There are still monks and robed figures making their way around. One of them sees you in your despair and kind of comes over and asks if there's anything.
Sorry, repeat that. You cut out on me.
Sure. One of them sees your look of concern and makes their way over and asks if there's anything they can do to help. You seem troubled.
He'll describe the hallway and he'll describe the door and ask if there's a place in here that sounds like that or looks like that. Like the way he walked down the hall and where the door was leading to the outside.
No, there's no door like the scullery, which is a bit further past where you are staying, has a door that leads out. It's quite obviously the scullery. It leads into the kitchen and some of the crew area there. It's the only one that I know is directly outside. Nothing leads to the forest, and the forest is still a long ways away from you. You can't just leave the monastery and walk out to the forest. You would have to travel a few hundred yards.
Ezra will give the man a small bow, say thank you, and he will return to the room.
Mm-hmm.
He won't sleep though. He'll stay up the rest of the night.
As you get into the room, give me a perception, please.
21.
Okay. It's a small thing. You remember your mother kind of always had it with. Whenever you see it, it's an association with a small trinket. That it's kind of one of those things where, like, we all have something that reminds us of father, something that we do. With my dad, it's always this leather belt that tool. With my mom, it's a necklace that has the medical symbol on it because she's a nurse and she always had it. This is the trinket from your mother, Ezra. It's carefully laid across one of the chairs. A very small item, but it's hers. And you don't remember it being in the chair when
He's gonna go grab it.
okay. It's slightly warm to the though she took it off and just laid it down.
He's gonna hold it like to his chest for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's going to put it in his pocket. He's he's really confused as to why it's here. But he's not gonna just multiple times.
He's not gonna whatever it is.
It's not gonna whatever it is. He's not gonna let go of it. He's gonna put it in his pocket, but it's still gonna like his hand is in his pocket with it wrapped around it.
How much smaller is she than he?
His who
So this is it's almost insignificant in his hand.
Ezra's mom is Ezra's parents are both different races. His mom, Aelinor, is she's about 5'4".
And Ezra's like 8'9".
Ezra's 6'8". His dad was about 7'2". Mom's like 5'4". Yeah. I know. I really mathed that out great whenever I was figuring that out.
Hey, look. I hated Snooki. That's all I'm saying.
If anything, she's the spicy one.
The assertive one?
The assertive one. There we go. That's the word.
No. I much more prefer spicy
one.
She's a Wendy spicy nugget. He's like a Burger King nugget doing the best it can.
Yeah.
All right. So you have this in your hand and you're just sitting in your room for the rest of the night?
Yeah, he'll return to where he was sleeping, but he'll stay seated. He'll stay sitting up, and instead he'll try meditating, which is something he hasn't done in a very long time. But he's gonna try it.
Okay. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please. Don't worry, it's not bad. If you fail, it's not bad.
13.
Okay. You're emotionally spent. This whole thing has you shaken, and what starts off as a quiet meditation eventually finds your chin dropping into your chest and your eyes closing. Dawn breaks the next day, and the smell coming from the pavilion is exciting, and it wakes you all up. Rashers of bacon freshly baked biscuits and scones. You can see that the people in the monastery where dinner is everyone sits and eats together. Breakfast is a little less formal. The pavilion has the mats the woven mats are rolled up, and you can see that the ceiling is still in place, or the roof is still in place. But the servers that were there before, which are there's about 10 of them, are quickly setting out plates of food as people sit down, and it's almost a kind of an ordered thing. Hey, what would you like? And you can see that they've wheeled out several cooking implements that are actually hanging in the hearth as they are cooking and things like that. Setael, you will probably be the first one up, given that you are in your natural element. Zastari's way up. Zastari's up before even dawn breaks. So Setael, whenever you get out to the tables, you can see Zastari out there. But let's ask this question: who is the last one?
Who's the last one awake?
Who's the last one to the table? Not necessarily awake. Who's the last one to the table?
I don't know. How hungover am I?
Should we make opposing Constitution saving throws?
Yes, please.
13.
12.
You come out of your room first, and then a moment later, Mello kind of like opens the door like a creature from the depths, puts one hand on the door and staggers out of the room, kind of kicking the door half closed behind him. Do you have your chicken with you?
Tonga?
Oh, yes. Duh.
Gonna have to make
Tonga
that boy a
stands across.
harness.
You know, walk him on a leash.
Yeah,
Baby Bjorn.
Animal handling checks. That's
just
what
right
you
on your
Oh,
chest.
yeah, there you go.
Baby Bjorn the chicken.
That won't go horribly.
That sounds like a
When you
great
fight, can the chicken get a claw attack in there just real quick?
idea. Beak attack.
Cocks have they have really sharp spurs on their
Can
legs.
we-
They will fuck you up.
Can we call them
They don't-
roosters? Because
They don't fear God.
I feel more comfortable. if we
Roosters
just
fear
call them a
nothing.
Rooster.
It's
They'll destroy you and your
As someone
family.
who's raised chickens, they don't fear God.
As someone who's raised chickens, my roosters always ran from me because if I came out, it's usually a bad time. Or I'm feeding everybody, so who knows. So the two of you make
Give and
your way back towards the table. Anything that you would like to discuss on your way to the table?
What happened? We were in a bar and now we're here.
And there's a chicken.
I'm gonna
And I
roll
have a-
to remember Archibald's name. Hang on. That's a nat 20.
I know nothing else, but this chicken is named. Our rooster is named Archibald.
Is Satire your dad?
I well, no. What? No. What? What? No.
Okay.
But like,
I think that's what you told me.
I mean, no.
Okay.
That's the look you just got.
Okay.
It's closer. But I think I remember. I think. Hang on, I need to get something to eat.
You're gonna leave me on a cliffhanger till breakfast?
Yes.
Who are you? Oh no.
Satiel's about to do something really evil when they come in too.
Oh.
Zora might be the last one to the table.
Ezra, are you making your way to the table?
Ezra's like, does he still has his hand in his pocket? Does he still have the item?
No.
Oh.
He would have checked in the morning. Does he still have the marks on his back?
They're not as fresh or tender, but like, you know how you rake your fingernails over your skin and it leaves that red mark? It's
Yeah.
like that. It's like
Okay.
that.
He's kind of like awkwardly like standing instead of having his hand in his pocket. They're like just together. And he's just like he's waiting to talk to Satael and Zora.
Okay.
Okay.
You can see that through your window, you're looking out on the courtyard, and you can see some of your party members are making their way. And you see Zastari, and you see clearly what is Satael. Bumbling their way out with their newborn baby boy. you see. You see.
Did they even check if it was actually? No, I'm kidding.
These two? Who knows?
It's hard to check. If
Roll
there's
to
no
see
like
boy or
physical
girl.
differences, it's very hard to tell.
Very easy.
When they're little, it's very hard. When
These
they're
aren't
grown.
little.
Oh,
This is
Full
little.
grown adult rooster.
Beefy boy.
It's a big old
Full-grown
cock.
rooster. I brought this in myself. I don't know what I expect.
Maybe
Alright.
a little.
You're all enjoying it. We know it.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right. So you can see everybody but Zora.
She would have probably woke up sometime, probably between like when Zastari and Satael woke up, and then when Tangaroa and Mela woke up.
Having their loud conversation.
Yeah. Found somebody like in the kitchen or something. Be like, can I just have like a little piece of bread and some honey, please? Just a little piece.
Leave more food outside.
I know it's she's like looks like she's thinking, I'm trying to lure something out, you know.
No, of course you can.
Thank you.
Yeah, he takes the honey dipper and dabs a little bit on a biscuit for you and hands it to you.
Gives him like a little bow and like where she's at, could she kind of see where the forest is?
Like I said, you can't really. I mean, the scullery door is open, so you can see outside. The forest is like.
She heads that way.
Okay. Out that way you go.
That reminds her of home. She's gonna like walk like maybe 10, 15 feet in.
The scullery. You see a few heads peeking out of the scullery.
Kind of like turns
She
around like,
helped
it's okay. Just
it's several. We're talking a few foot, like three, almost 4 football fields to get to the forest.
she's a hoofing.
Okay.
Tiny little legs.
All right, so you make your way into just inside the forest.
It just kind of finds a nice tree, puts it down there. Like I ants every. This is how we get ants.
Do you want ants? Because this is how you get ants.
This is how we get ants. No, she sets it down, and it's just like I know I haven't been doing this recently. We've been on a boat. I have my excuses, but and she just like sets it down at a tree and kind of like seeing the pine needles, kind of grabs some, puts them in her pocket, and kind of just hoofs it back.
And kind of just what?
Hoofs it back towards the scullery.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't like, what? I thought you said poops. And I was like,
Poofs it back.
Go. Oh, Misty Step. All right.
Not yet.
You make your way back into the scullery. I take it you're heading back up.
Yeah, just heading to the pavilion after that. Kind of like gives the guy like a wave of thanks. I'll check later to see if it comes.
Okay.
Totally lying about that part. She's not checking it later, but yeah, she just keeps.
So eventually you make your way out to the pavilion. Everyone is now gathered at the pavilion, Ezra. It's still fresh in your mind.
He's going to like semi awkwardly go to Satael and Zora and ask to borrow them for a moment to speak.
Yeah, sure. What's up?
You both know magic.
I hope so.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
There's a
I don't want to
Sato
talk
response
to you
though.
anymore.
Just like never
Turn all
mind.
attention to Zora.
Just patting him on the arm.
Last night I was visited in a dream and I received these, and he'll crouch down just enough to show both of you the marks.
Do you want me to see about healing that a little bit?
Or like not even asking, she just kind of starts healing it.
They don't hurt much anymore. No, I was wondering if you could tell if there was any magic on them or from them.
Yeah, sure. Give me a bit. Actually,
So it's like I can.
he'll look up. Hey, Dad.
Zora's like
Mhm.
just casting detect magic.
I'll.
You just got
Be
it
a-
without him.
Like, whatever.
Warlock.
Yeah. She doesn't have to ritual it.
All right.
He pauses, feeling as a later.
Oh, you look up. He's got a little bit of gravy in his beard. What? Okay. Looks back down and starts eating again. You draw the arcane sigils in the air, speak the necessary arcane words, and things light up magical. More importantly, though, as you focus in on the marks on Ezra's back, they do glow faintly, like it's fading.
They're some kind of magic. Would you recognize the magic, like what may have made it, given her patron? Would it be something along those lines? Either froze or he's
I
really
think he's
thinking.
frozen.
Yeah. I was about to
Just
say
so
either
deep
that.
in thought,
Yeah. Either that or he just went statue mode.
Really thinking about this.
I do believe he's frozen.
oh yeah, no, he's
He's
yeah.
definitely frozen.
You know what? It's a lot more flattering than the last time. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
True.
True.
Fair.
Quick, somebody screenshot so we can make a collage
Mm-hmm.
every time this happens.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be our slideshow from now on. Who needs art? It's just gonna be frozen pictures of Cap when his internet cuts out.
This sounds
Yeah.
great.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, V, I think that's about right for your parents, right?
His dad Zen was a very big shearer, only like him, and his mom is a tiny, spiteful water ganassi.
So she was the very ballsy water ganassi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Ezra's blue with that or white with tinges of blue.
Fun bit of the detect magic spell, though, Sarah. You automatically know what school of magic something is.
Well, that's handy.
Unless the DM rules otherwise. I know
True.
that personally I've done it where it's like, no, this is literally just magical. There isn't a school that it's part of.
Yeah.
It's just magic.
Like a
and
magic
it's
weapon.
there.
Mm-hmm.
No, magic weapons
Yeah.
don't have schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
No, I
guys.
think-
I'm the DM now. Everybody make a con save.
I'm good, thanks.
No.
Fuck. 6.
I think Jesus Christ.
Die.
I should have expected that.
I don't know why you didn't.
I mean, if it's actually a 9, if that makes any difference. It was a
Die.
6
You
on
know
the
what?
die.
What the heck?
I mean, I rolled a
my-
7.
What would my con
Die.
save be?
I just wasted a nat 20. I hope you're happy.
I mean,
All right, you're fine.
I got a 16.
Gone.
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay. All right, Sarah, we get to live.
Sorry.
Woo!
Ezra suffering. How could you do this? I can't.
Sorry, you're the
Ezra.
only one that hasn't made a con save.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
We're suddenly big eye, small mouth.
Yeah, I'm fixing
I'm
that
the
right now.
operator, everybody.
We're fight. Oh, okay. Never mind. Wait, I'm
the
Sir Saint
operator.
Helios. Okay, never mind. I do a shit ton of damage.
Yeah,
Fine.
you're supposed to be the operator, though.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. My internet dropped out. So if you will send me the invite back for the capture.
That's okay. I was the DM while you were gone.
I died.
Me
Tuna
too.
killed me.
I wasted a perfectly good nat 20.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry
Well-
about that, gang.
I'm the DM, everybody.
I'm the
God, no.
Sarah knows how that goes.
God, no.
She's
All
been
right.
witness.
Sorry about that. Thank you all for bearing with me a moment there while I got everything back in place. And thank you very much to the amazing Maddie for making sure that we all have our place on the screen.
We left off with
It's
the
abjuration magic.
Okay. She'll pass it on to Satael because he's smart.
Books are immediately. Is there any kind of abjuration magic that he might know of that would have an effect like this?
Considering that you don't know all of the abjuration magic out there, probably not.
Okay. I mean, I know he does them, but it's anything that he might have like picked up on in his studies.
Sure, no, I gather that, but no, nothing that strikes a chord
Fair enough.
in your mind.
He just pauses and goes, this is not any kind of abjuration magic I'm familiar with. Typically, abjuration magic is used to defend rather than cause outright harm, except for a few cases, but like basic things like shields and wards and defensive barriers to protect yourself and others, but this is... Could you run through what happened?
Did you?
No, he's asking if
Oh, I know.
Ezra would. Okay, that's true.
He remembers it all right. It's not just something that completely left his mind when he woke up.
Sora's just kind of like patting his arm because that's probably as high as she can reach. It's like, I mean, what's it? You didn't do this to yourself. Something did this to you, right?
As far as he's like, he looks down at his hands because of like his
Yeah.
dumb claws, but he's just like, as far as I know, I went down a hallway through a door towards the forest. I was met with a being in a white dress above the ground. It was my mother, which is strange because I know she's alive. And then we embraced, and this happened, and she was pulled away, and I awoke.
There's sometimes things in the forest that I mean, stories my mom used to tell me about just stuff, and there'd be bad things in the forest that could just kind of mess with your mind, or things that could maybe mess with your dreams. It might not be something. It's not your mom. I Probably not your mom. There's a good chance it's not your mom.
Satya looks like he's deliberating something in his head and sort of chewing it over without saying anything.
I'm still kind of patting Ezra's arm. Like, there, big man.
They're their large hulking figure.
May have
Big
pulled out a
man, big
notebook and is
heart.
taking a few notes, studying the notes, chewing on a nail, shaking his head, scribbling something out, writing some more.
It's a story.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're within earshot of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a perception check.
That is a natural 20.
You definitely overhear all of this. Give me a nature check, if you would, please. Don't make that face.
Ew.
Intelligence checks are usually my job.
That's a total of 6.
Never heard of such a damn thing. All right. Well, that's weird. Ew. All right.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
For
Glad
the
it didn't happen to
record-
me.
For the record, I have a +3 in nature.
That's
Nasty
just a bad
roll.
roll.
Huh?
Mm,
It's just a
Just a
nasty
bad
roll.
roll.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not Tenga. Mellow, maybe. Mellow, give me a nature check. Actually, first of all, Tenga, Mellow, give me perception checks to see if you even overhear this. Or are you both nursing your headaches too much to recognize what's going on?
I imagine if I roll high enough, at least, if he'd be annoyed by just how loud they are.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, no, that's
Wait.
true.
Crying.
when those two walked in, Satya totally went, "Hi!" Like right next to them.
He used prestidigitation to make it louder. Wait, no, that's thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
Oh.
He just says hi really loudly. Maybe grabs them in a big brief hug, spins them around once, and then goes away.
No, no.
I mean, see, I have message as a cantrip.
Oh no.
How's your head feeling?
Loudly.
All right.
In their ears.
What did you
with the
What did you
cantrip.
get for your perception checks?
Why do you guys hate us? What do we do? We
I
recycle.
don't.
No, Satya's just being
Thank you.
nice. He doesn't know you all are hungover.
A 4.
Mm.
Winner.
Chicken dinner.
Hey, they brought one.
Zastari is going to stand and move over to the 3 that are talking about this, and she's just going to gently tap Ezra on the arm and just... Is it possible that you dreamt it and scratched yourself? And the dream would seem very vivid, but it was just a dream. You said that you woke up back in your bed, correct?
Yes.
And if you know your mother to be alive, then logic states that this is nothing more than a product of your overtired brain.
If it helps, I can probably try to find one of the monks here who knows the scrying spell. See if they can find her.
Could ease the mind to know where she is.
I mean, it might not work because they aren't familiar with her, but
I don't know how that works, but does having something of hers help?
Mhm.
Okay. Ezra will tug on the braid, the one braid he has on his hair. There's a small blue bead at the end of it. He got it from his mom. It was his mom's originally.
okay. Satiel nods like, yeah, I may have asked Dad to try that to find my parents at some point, but if he found them, he never told me. But I can go ask him when he's done eating.
I'm sure she's alive.
Yeah, I can ask him when he's done eating. He'll probably help.
I think it might be best if you get something to eat, Ezra.
Yeah, I'm quite hungry now that I think about it.
Perhaps a little
Yeah,
water.
I also need to officially introduce all of you to my dad when they're not drunk and can actually remember his name, too.
We should probably make sure that they get water too, since they were drunk.
They need water in a bath because they reek.
There's a really nice bathhouse in town.
Is there?
Yeah. Went there and you notice she's wearing the unstained
that place. Yeah,
dress not covered in blood.
I've been there once. It's actually really nice. I enjoy it.
And we eat breakfast.
Oh yeah, food.
All right. You guys eat breakfast. You enjoy your meal. And as we prepare for our next day, where we are going to try to either scry for something or explore the city more, catch up with Hannah and see what she's doing. That is where we're going to call it again. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a lot of viewers, and I'm really excited about that. We had, I think, 13 about the average for the last half of the show. We even hit 16 there. So thank you very much for that. A huge shout out to D&D Beyond, dndbeyond.com. You can see we have their plugin. And we actually have where you can see as we go, there's actually you can see the characters and you can actually click on them and it'll bring up their sheet. That's all part of the plugin for Twitch and D&D Beyond. So we want to say thank you to dndbeyond.com again for allowing us to use their product and for being a sponsor of ours. A huge shout out to Lucky Dice Cafe. We want to say that again, like I said, if you're looking for something to do, on Thursday nights I'm running a game. It's pretty full, but on Friday nights I'm always running something different. I've run Call of Cthulhu, I've run D&D, Pathfinder, Numenera, City of Mist, Mutants and Mastermind, Deadlands, just all of these different things. Don't forget that we do have a Discord. Thank you very much to Bubba for throwing out the Discord link there. Feel free to join that, chat with us throughout the day as you will. You can also catch up to if you missed any episodes, you can catch up to those at YouTube/Dire Bear Adventuring Company. I think it's the whole thing.
I believe so.
Yep, Dire Bear Adventuring Company, the whole thing. So feel free to go check us out over there. As you, like I said, if you missed any episodes of the Escorts, or we do have Esper Genesis on there, as well as our Wednesday night showcase, as well as our Thursday night. So let's go over those real quick. And don't forget, hang around, people, because we are going to go raid Nerdsmith here in a minute. So they are going to be going live with their next show for 9 hells of a good time in about 5 minutes or so, or less. So we want to have everybody hang around for that. Dire Bear Adventuring Company. Yes, correct. Thank you very much. You can click that link for all of our videos that have been painstakingly moved over and uploaded by the amazing Maddie, who is also our host. She was the one that kept us all straight as far as our video goes and moving us all around in our positions. And our overlay is even done by her. We want to give a huge shout out to Derek Weems, who has created our music. A link to his information can be found in the board on the side there. Feel free to check him out. He is fantastic, and he made that music. He likes working with people and creating new things, so it is not beyond belief to say that if you have some music you want created, he would probably be happy to do so for you. And again, a huge shout out to Lucky Dice Cafe. I'll be there Friday running Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And then again on Sunday, we have our Adventure League from 3 to 6 p.m. We actually are starting to get a nice balance of players versus DMs, so feel free to drop by and see us. Tomorrow night, we are running Esper Genesis, unless something comes up. That is a companion for D&D 5th edition, but it is all science fiction. The Holocaust to the Ekajati, which is put on by Jason, who is actually our DM and a partner of ours. He actually owns runs part of Nerd Eternal Network, which they do podcasts on all sorts of nerdy things, including comic books, comic book movies. They talk about all sorts of fun things. So Nerd Eternal Network, go check them out. And then tomorrow we are, tomorrow that is going on. Wednesday we have Big Eye Small Mouth, hopefully. Let's watch people run around in mech suits. And then on Thursday we have Curse of Strahd, unless that's changed too. As far as I know, you guys are still running Curse of Strahd on Thursday. That lineup may change pretty soon, but we'll see what happens with those guys. And then we'll be back again next Monday with more of these shenanigans, where we chase a cock through a maze and make bad jokes. Mostly Steve makes bad jokes. We all make bad jokes. But again, all of my love to you guys who watched. Your viewership is important to me. Even if you can't donate, spread the love. Let people know we're out there. And a huge shout out to the people that would make this possible for me. Because while I am the DM, it's no fun if there aren't players. So all of my love to Maddie, V, Molly, Eric, Sarah, and Steve. Maddie, who is playing Zastari, V playing Ezra, Molly, who is playing Tangaroa. Eric playing Satiel, Sarah who's playing Zora, and Steve who is playing the man with the most mellow and chill, Mellow himself. Thank you all once again. We're going to go raid, so hang tight. Until then, take care of yourselves. We love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I'm telling you, man, this Nerdsmith stuff, it's hilarious. You guys should tune in if you can for as long as you can. Take care, everybody.
Ta-da!
GG, everyone.
Mm-hmm.